Oh, let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
Yeah, that was crazy.
Oh my god, that was so cool! What the fuck?
I thought that she literally was done. I was like, holy hell!
I was on the edge of my seat.
That was actually crazy as hell. Ricochet off a ricochet.
Arcane Season 2 almost cured my depression. Almost, which, trust me, that's a pretty impressive feat, not gonna lie. Anyway, instead of joining the hundreds of videos discussing the show's ending, I want to talk about the best episode in the entire series.
T'es la meilleure chose qui m'est arrivée, mais aussi la pire chose qui m'est arrivée.
And I gotta tell you, it was perfect. Perfect. Everything, down to the last minute details.
And it's those minute details that I want to talk about. Before I get started, though, a nice little touch that I want to point out is, you know the little record that plays at the beginning of each episode? Well, instead of the usual image of Vi staring at Jinx, this time around we get Echo staring at Powder. Such a nice little detail, a real blink and you'll miss it kind of thing. This episode thrusts us in the perspective of Echo, waking up in a world that never was. People are alive that shouldn't, and so much is just too good to be true. The direction on display here is so good. Echo jumps up and he sees a reflection of himself, not in a mirror, but in a clock. As Jinx, I mean Powder. Oh, did you miss it? You didn't see that shit? Hold on, hold on.
You're beyond help.
Yeah, shit's fire, right? This is the stuff I want to talk about. So, Echo heads to Vander's bar where, to his surprise, not only is he alive, but so are Clagger and Milo. I love seeing these guys again, and goddamn, Clagger's shit, he's like a Chad now, look at him.
We finally got the hybrids to feed off the Fisher gases, but the conversion rate's way too low. They hardly grow. They're nowhere near robust enough to purify all the air down here.
Clagger talking about the more mundane politics of this world's Undercity serves two purposes. The second one we'll get into later, but the first is just how easy they have it here. I mean, their biggest issue is the proficiency in purifying the air down there. Like, what? Meanwhile... Yeah, I like this place much better too, but the thing is, none of it is real, or at least not real to Echo. Throughout this entire episode, his perspective and worldview is completely changed, and it is done masterfully. I want to take a second and point out the girl Milo is crushing on at the bar. Her name is Gert. To be honest, I didn't even know she had a name until I rewatched the episode for a second time, but she did seem familiar. And then I realized, wait. Gert is a great example of how well done a lot of Arcane's background characters are. It's all very subtle, but in this brief exchange, you learn a lot about Gert. She works at Vander's bar, and on her off time, she's in a band called the Chem Sisters. Like, whoa, okay, Gert. But none of this shit even matters until you look at the finale. Gert dies a tragic and arguably pointless death. It's only through the lens of this alternate world that you see this person had dreams, aspirations, and a whole life that was taken from them because of what? Shitty circumstances that they had no control of? I love shit like that because that's real, bro. The people that end up in these situations like that never want to be. That's just how it is sometimes. So shout out and respect to Gert.
Go, save him from himself. Where would you be without her?
This line kind of implies a lot. Now, we don't really get a chance to see what the basis of Echo and Powder's relationship was in this world, but we can make some educated guesses. Vander voices his worries about Powder focusing too much on propping up others and not enough on herself and what she wants in life. So we'll dive more into that later. Meanwhile, Heimendinger shows up and he catches Echo on what's been going on. Shit, what the fuck was that voice? I am so sorry. He says he's been here for
1,128 days, 6 hours, and
20 minutes.
His upbeat and seemingly nonchalant tone kinda says a lot about his character. Heimendinger has lived so much life that 3 years is nothing to him, and unlike Jace or Echo, doesn't really have too much to live for, so bro's just vibing. Picked up some guitar skills and welcomed his new home with open arms. Heimendinger, he's just a chill guy. Meanwhile, Jace is in hell. At least that's what I would have thought. I mean, like, bro, Jace is a greater man than I. I would have assumed the fetal position and accepted fate the moment I saw some horrific shit like this.
Mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
Ah, the Piltover Bridge of Progress. Finally living up to its name. A place rooted in bloodshed for Echo is now bustling with people from both sides, working together? How can this be? What led to this outcome?
Right when the war quiets down, strike up the band.
Hey, Heimendinger, he was kinda in that shit. I had no idea he had pipes like that. I gotta focus on the lyrics of the song, though. They are very important. There's a line that goes,
Go and make some mistakes, you live and you learn. And where the chips fall, it's not your concern.
it's almost as if Heimendinger is teaching one final lesson. The song is sung over visuals of both Jace and Echo trying to find their way in this world that feels so alien to them. It's just perfect. Heimendinger is a mentor figure to both of them. It's just, I love it. Now, let's talk about Jace. Over the past few days, I've seen Jace get a lot of hate, and while I do somewhat understand people's disdain for him and his constant failures, I'm not so hard on the guy because, personally, I find his strife to be powerful. Brother, here is someone who's hell-bent on progress and succeeding, but yet fails at every single turn. Traditionally, a character like this would hit a roadblock or find themselves at a breaking point where they ultimately give up or quit. Shit, I would if I was in his shoes. In fact, I guarantee you, most of you would, but Jace perseveres because that's just the kind of man he is. Failure is a part of life. You're just gonna have to deal with that. The important thing is to never give up, even if you fail, and then fail, and then fail, and then fail. You don't give up. Jace doesn't give up. Jace spent weeks with a broken leg, resorted to cannibalism, ? Deconstructed his hammer, built a makeshift leg brace, and climbed his ass all the way up from the depths of the Undercity, all the way to the highest peak of Piltover. This is peak
determination! My fucking dick!
The sheer imagery of a man filled with hope, trudging through a land of despair, might be the hardest thing I've seen in my life. Stop the Jace slander. You are not doing that. I am not doing that. You know who is doing that? Jace is doing that. He won't fail.
Watch your step. We're almost there.
Echo, I don't know what this is all about, but if you're trying to apologize, dragging me through the...
I'm sorry, y'all. After that Jace part, I'm too hyped up right now. After a bit of soul searching, Echo starts to try and understand this world better because maybe a place like this could hold the key to reaching a better future in his world. What I really love about this is that his goal inadvertently opens up Powder's potential in this world. It's almost like he's returning the favor.
Your ideas change the world. I can't shake the feeling that's who you're supposed to be.
Since Powder and Echo are together in this world, Him being the one to tell her directly that she's capable of so much more means a lot. It means so much more coming out of his mouth versus someone like Vander, who literally just did that earlier. But it means more because this is someone that's special in a different way. And this is probably something that the Echo from her world would never be able to tell her because she's so guarded and doesn't show her potential. But this Echo knows, and it's so good, man. What the fuck? Echo in season 1 was adamant that Powder was gone and that there was no saving her. Ironically, Echo now is embracing the good aspects of Jinx and tries to bring the Jinx side out of Powder. What the fuck? Who wrote this shit? Who wrote this? I must shake your hand. I just want to shake your hand.
I'm gonna shake your hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. I want to shake his hand. Before me off the fucking plate. I want to shake his hand.
This is a world where Powder likely blames herself for Vi's death, the one person who didn't call her a Jinx, and didn't make fun of her for fucking up all the time. If you lost someone like that, you'd probably be afraid to try anything on your own. It really says a lot that Powder is even with Echo, as she kinda lets it slip that a part of her does find blame in him for Vi's death. Even so, she can forgive him. Hell, Silco and Vander forgive each other here. What is this place? He even says,
"Didn't you try to kill him?"
Greatest thing we can do in life is find the power to forgive.
This was the icing on the cake. The key that Echo needed to see in order to understand his lesson was forgiveness. With his new perspective on things, he makes an effort to try and forgive Jinx through Powder and reignites her love for inventions. You can tell this is what she'd rather be doing. She even perks up when seeing Echo's resilience when they're cracking the code of time travel. It's so nice. It's just nice to see this healing. I don't know how else to describe it.
Please go change before the party.
If you remember earlier in the video when Clagger was talking about the struggle with fixing the air filtration down there, well, these are problems that Powder would be able to solve with ease. She just holds herself back because she's afraid of fucking up, and Echo can see that.
I used to dream the Undercity could be like this, but somewhere I got consumed by all the ways it wasn't. I gave up on it. Gave up on you.
It's really poetic how this episode 7 is intertwined with the other episode 7 of the last season. After that amazing sequence with the awesome music and the hype, suddenly the music is cut. We hear nothing. But the harsh beating and violence between two childhood friends. It's appalling. But just as Echo is about to finish her off, there's this moment. This one little moment of sadness. Did he hesitate because they used to be friends? Or maybe because in that moment he saw helpless little Powder? Or maybe he's always loved Powder. I'm a sucker for forbidden love stories, and this one hit me deep to my core. Had the actions of others been different, they would have shared a life together. The last shot of the episode was one that initially confused me. It wasn't until revisiting the episode that I started to understand the final shot. In this scene, Powder, now having said goodbye to Echo, has a decision to make. To keep living for the sake of others, or to try to live for herself and harness the Arcane for good. It's really funny how the entire conflict of this show was all centered around the Arcane falling into the wrong hands, yet not Jace, Victor, or anyone in Piltover was the right person. Instead, it was the little orphan girl from the Undercity.